Tell me your 6 names! We are the ones who dwell within.
Although many may not know it, the horrifying events of the 2005 film The Exorcism of Emily Rose were not entirely fictional, but rather was based on actual experiences of a young German woman named Anneliese Michel. This movie personally ruined 3 a.m. for me, and still to this day, whenever I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water, I refuse to look at what time it is.
I woke up. Freezing. It was exactly 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is the demonic witching hour. It's a way for demons to mock the Holy Trinity.
Anneliese Michel grew up devoutly Catholic in Bavaria, West Germany in the 1960s, where she attended Mass twice a week. And when she was 16 years old, she suddenly blacked out at school and began walking around in a daze. And although she had no memory of the event, her friends and family said that she was in a trance-like state. A year later, Anneliese experienced a similar occurrence where she woke up in a trance and wet her bed. Her body also then went through a series of convulsions which basically left her shaking uncontrollably, leaving those closest to her convinced that she was possessed by a demon. But what happened next was even more disturbing, and the exorcisms that her family used to treat her symptoms eventually left her dead on July 1st, 1976, at the age of just 23. And this is the haunting true story of Anneliese Michel, the real-life Emily Rose.
For the glory of God.
After the second time she went into a trance, Anneliese Michel was taken to a neurologist who diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, a disorder that causes seizures, memory loss, as well as visual and auditory hallucinations. After her diagnosis, Anneliese Michel began taking medication for her epilepsy and enrolled in university in 1973. However, the medication wasn't really helping her, and as the year progressed, her condition got worse and worse. And even though she was still taking her medication, Michel began to believe that she was possessed by a demon and that she needed to find a solution outside of medicine. According to Michel, she saw the face of the devil wherever she went, and she said that she heard demons whispering in her ear. And when she heard demons telling her that she was damned and would rot in hell while she was praying, she concluded that the devil must be possessing her. Anneliese Michel and her family proceeded to seek out priests in order to help her with her supposed demonic possession, but they all denied her request, saying that she should seek out medical attention instead, while also stating that they would need the permission of a bishop in any case. At this point, Michel's delusions had become extreme. Believing that she was possessed, it was reported that she did the following. She compulsively performed up to 400 squats a day. She crawled under a table and barked like a dog for 2 days. She also ate spiders and coal. She bit the head off a dead bird and licked her own urine from the floor. Finally, Anneliese and her mom found a priest, a man by the name of Ernst Alt, who believed in her possession and who stated in later court documents that she did not look like an epileptic. Anneliese Michel would also write to the priest saying the following: "I'm nothing. Everything about me is vanity. What should I do? I have to improve. You pray for me. I want to suffer for other people, but this is so cruel." Alt petitioned the local bishop, a man by the name of Joseph Stangl, who eventually approved the request and granted permission to a local priest named Arnold Renz to perform an exorcism, but that it had to be done in secret. Exorcisms have existed for millennia in various cultures, but it became really popular in the 1500s with the Catholic Church, where priests would use this Latin phrase, which means "go back Satan," in order to expel demons from their mortal hosts. And the practice of Catholic exorcism was codified in the Rituale Romanum, a book of Christian practices assembled in the 16th century. Now, by the 1960s, exorcisms amongst Catholics was very rare, but with the rise of books and movies such as The Exorcist in the 1970s, there seemed to be a renewed interest in the practice.
You know what she did?
Over the next 10 months following the bishop's approval of Anneliese Michel's exorcism, Alt and Rens conducted 67 exorcisms lasting up to 4 hours on the young woman. Through these exorcisms, Anneliese stated that she believed that she was possessed by 6 demons, namely Lucifer, Cain, Judas Iscariot, Adolf Hitler, Nero, and Fleischmann, who was a disgraced priest. And it was said that these demons would drain the energy from Anneliese Michel's body and would communicate through her using a low growl. And I just want to warn viewers that what you're about to hear is the actual audio footage of this.
Ja, ich will auch für die anderen leiden, damit die nicht in die Hölle kommen und so. Aber dass das dann so schlimm ist und so grausam und so furchtbar, nee.
Den Jungfrau, im Namen Jesu, befehle ich dir auszufahren im Namen des dreifaltigen Gottes.
It was also reported that during these sessions, Anneliese would often talk about atoning for the sins of the wayward youth, and she actually broke the bones and ripped the tendons of her knees by continually kneeling in prayer. Over these 10 months, Michel was frequently restrained so the priest could conduct exorcism rites on her. And she slowly stopped eating and eventually died from malnutrition and dehydration on July 1st, 1976. Anneliese Michel's story became a national sensation in Germany after her parents, as well as the 2 priests who conducted the exorcism, were charged with negligent homicide. They came before the court and even used the recording of the exorcism to try to justify their actions. Bishop Joseph Stangl would go on to say that he was unaware of Anneliese Michel's existing health condition when he approved the exorcisms, and he was not required to testify in court. The 2 priests were sentenced to 6 months in jail, which was later suspended, as well as 3 years probation. Anneliese Michel's parents were exempted from any punishments as they had suffered enough, which is a criteria for sentencing in German law. After the trial, Anneliese Michel's parents asked authorities if they could exhume their daughter's body, as she had been buried in a hurry in a cheap coffin. And after almost 2 years after the burial, on 25th of February 1978, her remains were placed in a new oak coffin lined with tin. Other than being the inspiration for the horror movie, Anneliese Michel became an icon for some Catholics who felt that modern secular interpretations of the Bible were distorting the ancient supernatural truth that it contains. And her grave has become a gathering point for religious outsiders. While she may be a source of inspiration for some religious people, there are others that think that the story of Anneliese Michel is not one of spirituality triumphing over science, but rather that of people who should have known better than allowing a mentally ill woman to die. On 6th of June 2013, a fire had engulfed the house where Anneliese Michel had lived. And although the local police determined that it was a case of arson, some locals attributed the fire to the exorcism case. The case of Anneliese Michel is a very interesting one because it's got elements of the paranormal as well as true crime. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did she die because of possession or because of negligence? And as always, thanks for watching.